Welcome to History Adventuring. This is episode number 581. I'm Brad Hall, and today we're looking at how the word girl was canceled in the 1970s and then brought back. If you're old enough to remember the song The Girl from Ipanema and thought nothing of it being a description of a full-grown woman, probably in her 20s, that the singer is having romantic thoughts about, you can remember a time before the word girl was canceled. But it came back just a few years later. Yes, cancel culture is really nothing new. It means that something that everybody thought was perfectly acceptable one moment is considered wildly offensive the next. And a lot of older people really can't keep up with it, and it can be frustrating. I'll see if I can explain what happened to the word girl. The 1970s brought a lot of changes that kind of started in the 1960s. Equal rights were moving from just a brand new idea in the law to changing attitudes by ordinary people. The women's liberation movement, usually just called Women's Lib, was fighting hard to give equal opportunity to women in many things, including jobs. Things entered the language, such as postal worker instead of mailman, firefighter instead of fireman, that sort of thing. Looking back now, it just seems logical, but having the word man built into a job made people prejudiced against seeing a woman in that job. Language is a powerful thing, and the word girl just had to go. It only described someone who was a little girl, with pigtails, giggling, and skipping. And if you're already getting huffy about it and saying, "What's the big deal?" I'd like to remind you that the word boy had been canceled even before I was born, which was over 60 years ago. The bathrooms in my school may have been labeled boys, but no one ever called me that when I was a little kid. I was always called a fine, upstanding young man, although I'm sure that I was a little brat. Boy was insulting, and words like bellboy had long been replaced with bellhop. Boy has never returned, but girl has. I'm inclined to give credit to Madonna, who is my age, who sang Material Girl in the 1980s. She was 26 when she recorded that, and it must have been shocking to people around her that she chose to use the word girl in that song. And then I watched the word girl return, and by the 1990s, no one gave a second thought to Swing Out Sister singing, "Am I the same girl you used to know?" But I have vivid memories of how terrible it was to accidentally use the word girl in the 1970s to describe a full-grown woman. I remember a paperback book that I checked out of the library, some detective novel, I think, where someone had carefully crossed out the word girl each time it appeared and replaced it with woman. I still cringe a bit when I find myself using the word girl, but my gray hairs protect me. Elderly people are cut some slack, But I'm really too young to be comfortable with it, or too old, or whatever. This has been History Adventuring. I'll talk to you later.